All right, Coach, give an opening statement about the win over Albany State.
I got my dad back there, so hopefully I don't get the years wrong. But in 1964, my father met my mother at Albany State University, now we're in 2025. There's a lot of mixed emotions today for the fact that we're playing Albany State today. Today's my mother's 80th birthday. She passed away in 2021. So playing Albany State on September 13th with my family members here. Again, just some mixed emotions. But my dad said they met in '64. That means he probably chased her around for a year before she finally said yes. So technically, they probably met a year earlier. But obviously, good win for us. Needed it bad. Finally, guys persevered, came out in the second half, played really, really well. We still need to look a little bit better. I'm not, again, you're never gonna be upset about a win, but we just, once we get in the SWAC play, it's gonna have to look a heck of a lot better. I know that, but we'll take the win. But still understand we're going into a bye week. Got to get ourselves healthier. Got to get a few of our players back so we can be at full tilt. So we can look like the football team that I thought we would look like the whole season.
Gerald?
Coach, coming in first off, congrats on getting the victory today.
Appreciate it.
Second of all, just coming into this game, home opener, trying to get your first victory. How did your team, did y'all feel any pressure? Did y'all feel any urgency coming in and wanting to get this win?
Well, it wasn't urgency. We always felt it was about us, right? We knew that we would have the the talent advantage. We felt we would have the size advantage. They came out and hit us right in the mouth early with a couple plays, but never really a sense of urgency. We went in there the second half and started talking about what we needed to do offensively and defensively. Obviously made the change to put RJ back in for the third quarter, and then we hit it running, right? So, but we look good on offense once we get a rhythm. But every once in a while we'll have a play that'll stall or drive. So, but good job getting the ball in the end zone. The offense showed that they could score the football. Great to see Petty and RJ play well, and now we just got to pick up and get to our bye week and get ready for a really, really good Alabama State team.
St. Clair.
So, Coach, early on, you guys had some issues with penalties. Can you just talk about that and maybe how frustrated you were, if at all, on the sidelines, just dealing with that and how it helped them get the ball downfield?
Well, we've been playing first couple games. We're playing pretty clean as far as the penalties go, and there's such things as playing penalties, right? Guys, that are playing hard and you somehow get some penalties, but when you get the undisciplined one, line up offsides or jumping offsides, we face masks, right? We have a 75-yard touchdown pass that gets called back because of a blindside block that everyone in the country knows those aren't the kind of blocks that you can make. So we just can't fall back into those bad habits that we had last year. So those are things we got to work out. We got to work on. We got a penalty on victory today. Like, that's just undisciplined stuff that we as a football team we can't play. We can't win like that. And we just, as a coach staff, myself included, just got to make sure we harp on those as in our bye week.
Jim?
Coach, I know we got to see both quarterbacks play today. How impressed were you with RJ Johnson and his return in the second half, especially that opening drive?
Well, I just thought they both played well. We made a decision, in the third quarter just to go back with RJ just to see how it looked, and let's be honest, right? It's hard for both of them to have to go in and out, and then have to start back over again. It's just we're just trying to find a rhythm. He made it. It's when he makes the reads and he does what Coach Burris tells him to do. He's a very, very good quarterback. There's a couple times that he had a couple times where he didn't make the read, right? So but there's Coach Burris done a really, really good job with both of those guys, right? And it's just you just hate that we only have one quarterback that we can only play, right? But I thought Petty played well as well as a guy coming in and led us down the field. He had a 77-yard touchdown pass that got called back, right? But both of those guys played really, really well. They do different things well, and so we could also go with both from here on out. But it's just tough to have to go in, go out, go in again. But I'm happy for RJ for what he did, but also extremely excited for what Petty did as well.
Troy?
Coach, I'm old school, and I have always gone by the mantra: if you got two quarterbacks, you don't necessarily have one. But this year, that does not seem to be the case. It seems to be that you have a quarterback that can make big plays on time, and I'm talking about both quarterbacks at the same time. So can you give us an idea of what you're seeing from those guys, because they are making plays?
Well, I mean, we knew both were going to play today. I just didn't tell them about it. We knew that Chet was going to go in there on the third series. No matter what was happening with the game, we knew that he was going to play that third series. And we made it a point, didn't matter where it was, 50-yard line, plus 45. If we were working out at the -3. So Chet knew he was going in on that third series. But, just how the game was going, right? Like, we only had, 4 or 5 series that, for the whole first half, right? So, so that's, for us defensively, we got to give our offense more of an opportunity to, to be on the field. But, it was just excited to see both of them get in. We had a tough decision that we needed to make at the half, and it could have been Jet who could have been the one throwing for 275 yards. But Coach Burst and I, we talked at half. He asked me the question what I thought we could do. We said we're going to give RJ the start in the third quarter and then see what would happen. And then first play in, he throws the dart to Kennard Wiltshire, and so now it's like, well, you take him out now? No, you keep him in. And for the most part, I thought he did a very, very good job. The second half, he did have a couple of spots where he could have made some better decisions. And but again, I'm happy with both of them. They both have done a great job being great teammates to each other. And whenever whoever goes in, the other one is definitely cheering them on, but also looking for an opportunity to play.
Keith Adley, Fangs podcast here. Coach, we saw in the game that the mobile quarterback kind of gave us some trouble at times, and we also saw the tempo they ran with. Is that a concern for you going into the Albany State game with what we've seen out of Andrew Body in these first couple of weeks?
He's dynamite, isn't he? But you got to give credit to Knowles. He did a really, really good job. He's been running this offense for 2 or 3 years, and Coach Gray's done a really, really good job with him. But that's what offenses do now, right? They don't want defense to change. They want to get first downs and tempo and make you block yourself by making mistakes and making you do stuff miscommunication wise. So we got our hands full, and arguably Body's probably the maybe be the lead right now if you have to look at it, and he's probably a little bit better than maybe what we faced tonight. But I think we'll be ready. Like I said, we'll get a couple guys back hopefully to get ready for the next couple weeks. And but Body's he can throw the rock, he can run it. So. We will have our hands full, but I also feel we'll be ready to go.
St. Clair.
Coach, how much of a relief is this to at least get a sense, like, for me, I know that I exhaled tonight after the first 2 games. How do you feel? I mean, how much of a relief is this to you?
Well, we want to win every one of them, right? Do I read any of the stuff that's going on out there? No. I take care of my football team. I always eliminate the outside noise. I got to take care of the 112 guys that we have in that locker room. But you want to win, right? Do I understand losing to a Division II football team that hurts you as a head coach of a football team? Absolutely. They're a very, very good Division II football team. Do I know that Quinn Gray is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play at FAMU and has done a great job at Albany State? Obviously, I know what he's done, but I think at the end of the day, for me, taking care of my football team has been the most important thing. Keeping everything in the locker room, making sure that we just take care of our deal. We can't worry about anybody else except us, right? So, is it a relief? Yeah, we needed to win this football game, right? And that's just not because of who we were playing. We just needed to win a football game, right? First game of the year, we lose 10-9. Last week, we don't play as well as we expect, so we just needed to get a win, and it just happened to be against a very, very good Albany State team. And so, like I said, getting excited and getting ready with our bye week, getting ourselves healthy, getting an opportunity to put a better product on the field because we're going to need it as we open up swag play.
Coach, now that you got the first win out of the way, and like I said, it was a little bit of a relief, but you got to keep going. You get a win right before bye week. Yep. I know that's something that plays dividends, kind of going out on a high note. But where does you say your team got a lot of improvement to do? Where do you start, and what's the steps to taking that?
Well, we gotta get it healthy. You got about 5 or 6 guys on offense that are banged up that didn't play tonight. If you guys looked at our sidelines had some really, really good players on it that weren't playing. And that was primarily because of injury on both sides of the field. So we had some guys that couldn't play today. We decided to hold them out, just to get healthy. So everybody should be full go once we get ready for Alabama State. And that can only make our team better. It also does help us provide some depth, at some of the positions, and but also allow some of our younger players and our newer players get the experience that they needed tonight. Albany State played hard today. They're gonna be tough to deal with. at whatever level that they're at, or whatever they have to play for the rest of the season. But we were able to have some guys that could provide some depth. Gave us an opportunity to get some of our guys healthy to get ready for Albany State. But again, a win is a win. Excited about it. Got a chance for my family to be here. You know, my dad, I think, is wearing the Albany State underneath his shirt, but it's all good. It's all good. I know where his heart is.
Keith Adley, another question.
Talk to me.
So we saw in the receiver room, you know, not to call it position group, but you know it's coming for 220. How do you fix some of the drops? You know, we've seen in this couple of games where, you know, at times you're dependent on receivers, you're looking for them to make some really big plays, and, you know, they're letting us down. So how do we work on that, and how do we improve that going forward?
I don't think they go out there and drop them on purpose. You know, we just got to continue to work, and you know, and these are some really good players for us, right? Guys that we thought were going to come in and do some amazing things. You know, Goldie Lawrence. You know, the biggest thing for Goldie Lawrence was, you know, hey, he's one of our top guys. He's got to finish. He knows that. We know that. The whole stadium knows that. But just got to keep working, keep grinding. I believe in Goldie. I know he's gonna be. He'll make his plays when the time comes. You know, obviously Jalen Rogers was a guy that didn't play tonight. Same thing with him. You know, these are guys that we are dependent on. If they don't make the plays that we need them to make, then, you know, hey, then now it's second down and long or third down and long, right? So, but these are guys we're dependent on. They know that, they understand that, and we just gotta get them on the jugs, and we can't take them out. Can't take them out. We need them. You know, we know how good Goldie is. We know how good Jalen Rogers is. We know how good Ace Cobb has been for us. These are three guys that are going to be really, really good players for us. And once they do finish, right, that scoreboard will light up even more.
26 first downs, 462 yards of total offense possession for 34 minutes. Just talk about the flow on the offense side.
Right. I mean, they'll get the chicken first tomorrow. I guess when you get points like that, get the yards that they did. Coach Burris has been working those guys really, really hard. And I mean, again, like we were missing 4 or 5 stars on offense today, but to go out there and give that offensive output is great, you know, and being able to balance the quarterbacks like he did, you know, and being able to get the ball to our playmakers. That was the thing. Number 7 was our best playmaker tonight. Did a great job, and you know, excited for what he can do for us as well. And run game, got, you know, Dad Franklin picked up some yardage, Jamal Haley picked up some yardage. Obviously, Will Somerset didn't play today. We decided to give him the night off. So we got a lot of weapons that we got to get the football to. With amazing balance, our offense was in rhythm. You guys saw it tonight, probably the best we've looked all season, and that's even looking at last year, right? So as long as you get the rhythm, quarterback gets protection, and he gets the ball to the right people, we could be pretty dangerous.
That's it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, Coach.